Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. In the next 60 minutes, EOCO arrests 10 medical workers and uncovers a notorious baby harvesting and trafficking syndicate in a joint operation with the Medical Dental Council.
As a result of these investigations, 2 medical doctors, 2 social workers, 4 nurses, 2 mothers, and 1 traditional birth attendant have been arrested so far.
We'll bring you details as investigations continue to arrest other members of that syndicate. Also tonight, retired military officer describes as embarrassing the involvement of military personnel in illegal mining.
The whole documentary, the picture that it conveys is quite embarrassing, to the Ghana Armed Forces. And I think it will be better for the Armed Forces to come out with an explanation.
We have details as Joy News picks up information that the military personnel have begun withdrawing from illegal mining sites. And in Parliament, State Opposition greets motion by Boko Central MP Mahama Ayariga seeking that the House causes the President to suspend payment of admission fees by tertiary students.
I beg to do that it should not be allowed, it should not be entertained, and it's an insult to this House. This motion is flawed, is incompetent, and the honourable member should do the needful.
And also tonight, it's official. Joseph R. Biden is the 46th president of the United States of America, and he's calling for boldness to deal with the multiple challenges facing the U.S. We'll hear from him. And in business,
more oil marketing companies hike oil prices at the pumps in line with developments on the international market.
And later in sports, Right to Dream Soccer Academy partners Egyptian billionaire Mohamed Mansour as it targets expansion to include a women's professional club. We'll hear from Chief Executive Officer Tom Vernon.
we have that and more in tonight's edition of Newsnight. Please join us with your thoughts and comments via WhatsApp 055 1111 Also, if you're watching us live on Facebook, you can leave your comments there. I am Emefa Apawu.
And my name is Mensah. And to our first story, the Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, they have arrested 10 members of a baby harvesting and trafficking syndicate in the Greater Accra region. The group is alleged to have stolen babies from their mothers at various hospitals and sold them for between 28,000 and 30,000 cedis. Now, in a joint operation between with the Medical and Dental Council, EOCO picked up doctors, nurses, social workers, and traditional birth attendants who operated in different hospitals in the Greater Accra region where they traded babies using a highly sophisticated mode of operation. We'll bring you details of a briefing by EOCO and the Medical and Dental Council shortly. But first, here is a report by Manuel Cranting, who was embedded in one of such operations that led to the arrest of a social welfare officer at the Tema General Hospital last month.
It's 7 a.m. on the morning of 31st December 2020, the last day of the year, as many people prepared to bid farewell to one year and welcome another. Somewhere at the Tema General Hospital within the Tema metropolis, a baby was about seeing the last of his biological mother. Emotion on that fateful day was the sale of a 1-month-old baby boy by an organized baby selling cartel. This syndicate is made up of several people, including doctors, nurses, and social welfare officers, among others, all of whom are entrusted with the responsibility of providing assistance to mothers and their newly born babies. Their operations had been on the radar of the Medical and Dental Council for a while, and today the council has teamed up with the officers from Economic and Organized Crime Office, EOCO, to foil one of such illegal transactions. The Connect, Leonard Able, an officer at the head office of the Department of Social Welfare, had already taken 10,000 Ghana cedis as a deposit for the baby, who he was selling at 28,000 Ghana cedis from a woman in need of a baby, not knowing she was an undercover officer with Yoko. The Joy News team was embedded in the operation and filmed from a distance as Mr. Able went to collect the baby and accompanied the female undercover officer to a vehicle. This was the point of arrest. Leonard Able was arrested and the baby retrieved. On-site interrogations revealed Mr. Able was not alone. His accomplices, a nurse only identified as Nancy, and the head of the social welfare at the hospital, also referred to as Auntie Doris, had heard of the arrest and immediately bolted.
I've called her several times, but she's not picking up, so I keep on calling. I don't know what to do.
What is her name? What is her surname? There's a woman who left in the car. In the taxi. She left in the taxi. Yes. They gave money that I should go and pay them. So
what's
later,
the evidence that you paid?
Oh, the woman said that.
Which woman?
Nancy said that she had done adoption before. And she said that she had somebody, she has a baby, an abandoned baby here. Doris said she had an abandoned baby. You get me? So I should assist her.
Not even a call from the medical director of the facility could get them to return. The entire morning went by with the arrested suspect pleading for mercy as he sent the team on a wild goose chase from one facility to the other in search of his other accomplices.
Yes, but the way my name, my this thing, help me, I beg you, help me. Can you help me? They gave money that I should go and pay them.
And that's my colleague Manuel Cranting's report some time back. Now, we can hear from the executive director of Yoko, Frank Edupoku, who said the 10 arrested are assisting with investigations.
Once you have been arrested and you are being investigated,
as a result of these investigations, 2 medical doctors, 2 social workers, 4 nurses, 2 mothers, and 1 traditional birth attendant have been arrested so far. On Thursday, December 31st, 2020, Dr. Hope Mensah, who works with the 37 Military Hospital, was arrested at his private health facility named Susan Clinic, located at Atabi Okoshi, a suburb of Accra. He was alleged to have sold the first baby boy to the team for an amount of 30,000 Ghana cedis in October 2020. And Dr. Mensah was arrested with 3 nurses who worked at his facility. And the nurses are Sylvia Awuse, John Adole Efi, and Angelina Ametepe. They have been identified as his accomplices together with 1 Dede Gifty Anipi, a traditional birth attendant at Bethlehem Maternity Home at Santo, a suburb of Pong Katamanso. Dr. Noah Kofi Latte, who works at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, popularly known as Regional Hospital, and he operates a private hospital called Dangbe Community Hospital, was also arrested in a separate operation on Tuesday, January 5, 2021. The mother of the second baby was arrested on 19th January 2020, pending further investigations. Both babies sold by the suspects and bought by the investigators are currently in safe custody and being properly taken care of pending further investigations.
Well, that's the executive director of Yoko, COP, Frank Edupoku. Thankfully, he joins us on the line together with the acting registrar of the Medical and Dental Council, Dr. Divine Banyubala. Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen, here on Newsnight. I'll start with you, COP, Frank Edupoku. I hear that there were 2 mothers, at least listening to you address the press earlier, there were 2 mothers arrested as well. First, help us understand what exactly their offenses and what role they played.
Thank you. May I know whom I'm speaking to?
You are speaking to Emefa, sir.
Emefa, okay. Yes, your question is, there were 2 mothers involved. And I didn't get the question properly. So what do you want to know?
I'm saying that I heard you at the press conference mention that there were 2 mothers that were arrested as well.
Okay.
I'm curious. Help me understand what exactly their offenses or what role they played in all this.
Okay. I'll start with the role that they played. The first mother that was at the Susan Clinic, He went there under the pretense that he wanted to have an abortion. And because of the mature nature of the baby, he was advised that he couldn't have the abortion and that he go to proper delivery. He was done this CS. And that very day that the delivery was done, the baby was handed over to our Nakoba detectives who were around at that time. So the role he played was that between myself and the doctors, the nurses, he was made to understand that the baby was alive. But when you home, you inform the parents, the aunties, the family members that the baby was dead. So that's what he did. He facilitated the commission of the offense. He could be vulnerable because he's a young lady who could not take care of the pregnancy, and the person responsible also has refused to take responsibility. So he was in a vulnerable position. And his vulnerability was taken advantage of by the doctors and nurses at the suicide clinic. So that's the role that he played. Coming to the offenses committed.
Just quickly, just a quick clarification. They should take money in exchange for the baby.
Yes, we are still investigating. The doctor took 30,000, and according to the doctor, he gave 8,000 to this young lady. The young lady came and he admitted taking 3,000, and that he claimed that the doctor has invested the remaining 5,000 in an investment that yet to find out. So that's the position that we have now. But we are going to do further investigation to establish how much was taken by the young lady.
And you were going to talk about the offense exactly, but let me bring in Dr. Divine Banyubala. Well, you've been part of this. I've seen the joint statement issued together with the Dental Council and the IOCO. Are you as shocked at the details when you found out about this?
Well, thank you very much, Emefa and Evans, for having us. Shock will be an understatement. If you understand that ours is a traditional, honorable, noble, and learned profession, which has over the years assimilated values and norms, crystallizing into ethical conduct for which the public is comfortable to place its trust and confidence in us, to say that we were shocked, disappointed, will actually be an understatement. But you will understand that as a statutory regulator, our public obligation and statutory duty, in accordance with best professional regulatory practice, is to advance a regulatory agenda that ensures and assures public health, safety, well-being, that assures public confidence and trust in the health profession and its professionals, that assures confidence and trust in the healthcare system. And from where we sit, we do know that the minimal thing the Ghanaian desires of us as healthcare professionals and the healthcare system is to have a system that is responsive to their needs, with great regard for respect for their dignity as human beings and their human rights. Now, the events of today that have just been made public will constitute demonstrable evidence of the benefit of institutional collaboration and cooperation, where leveraging on our shared resources and expertise, we can actually advance an agenda rooted in our shared mandate of accountability.
Accountability on whose part, you'd say?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind. Accountability at the professional level as a profession, accountability at the individual level, and accountability at the level of the institution.
Well, COP Frank Edupoku, well, this issue, since we heard it, Evans and myself, we've been discussing it, and it's so disturbing. You've arrested 10 people, and it appears that there are some who are still out there because you describe it as a syndicate. As a mother, if you're going out there to deliver and all, what then should you be looking out for so that you don't fall victim to this?
It is stated that perpetual vigilance is the price of freedom. So any mother who visits any health facility should ensure that all the necessary things that you should go through are gone through, and that at least there should be somebody to take care of her. You should not go to the hospital alone. You should be accompanied by somebody, and you should be somebody who knows her rights and what you're supposed to do. So if you go to the hospital after, we make sure that at least you know that your baby is alive and kicking. So in fact, we on our part are going to do much education to, the support of the Medical and Dental Council. But at the end of the day, we make sure that those who are falling, victim of such, act are punished properly.
Well, but Dr. Divine, you've just heard COP talk about vigilance, for instance. There are most instances that people go to facilities, especially the public ones, and want to take even their husbands in there during delivery as part of vigilance. But most of the time, they are denied that access. How then do we stay vigilant in such cases?
Thank you very much, Emefa. Let me put it this way. Let us be clear, and I'll make this point as strongly as I can, with all the sincerity and commitment of this office, and that a vast majority of our professionals are persons of high integrity and ethical professionals. So the events of today should rather increase public trust and confidence in our profession and the healthcare system rather than decrease. Like I mentioned, remember that this is an old, honorable, traditional, learned profession. And we are not naive to believe that we are dealing with saints. We are acutely aware that we have healers, not saints. That is why we, as the lead professional regulator of the health sector, we are incrementally, progressively, deliberately focusing on professional accountability and institutional accountability. And we do know that regulation, acting collectively with your help, with the help of the informants, the help of the general public, with the help of sister agencies like IOCO, led by COP Frank Edupoku, we can continuously work together to rid our system of miscreants or criminals who masquerade as professionals, or criminals who happen to be professionals. And therefore, I want to just assure the general public that the events of today show how seriously we take our regulatory issues, and that we are prepared to go at all lengths to ensure that we not only identify, but we also weed out errant practitioners.
So what happens to these ones that have been arrested?
So those who have been arrested, a number of things happen. And I'm not going to be able to speak for their employers. But there will be administrative actions from the employment point if they pick the feet from today. There are also legal components that the IOCO will pursue, because with the leave of the Attorney General, as I understand their mandate, they will move on to prosecute. And on our level as a professional regulator, their conduct raises prima facie disciplinary issues. And the immediate things to do is to ensure that there are restrictions on their practice to start with. And we are going to work with other sister agencies like the Health Facilities Regulatory Agency, because some of those facilities is becoming obvious from our investigations that are not properly registered, and then therefore they should be closed down until they have met the regulatory requirements of being capable of functioning as such.
Okay, so now COP Frank Edupoku, I'm curious, these babies, how many have you harvested so far, and then where are they? Do we know what plans they are to unite them with their parents, for instance?
Yes, as you speak now, we have two of the babies, two boys. One is almost 4 months, and the other one is under 1 month. Yes, with the support of the Medical and Dental Council, we'll be able to secure a very good place for them. They're under very good care, and then at the appropriate time, we get in touch with any of the children's homes so that they take care of them until when we decide to know what to do with them. But as we speak them, they are safe and they are under proper care.
Well, I will leave it here for now, but I'm sure...
Yeah, Emefa, just quickly, before, you see, your question was presumptive to the extent that we do not know the role of the mothers. We cannot talk about unifying, reuniting the children with their mothers. It depends upon whether the mother is an accomplice or is a victim.
Okay.
And has the capacity
and that
to
is
take
yet
care
to be
of them.
established.
The second point is just to re-emphasize what COP has said, that these children are under professional care and they are following all the immunization schedules. They are being seen by experts in pediatrics in our leading hospital in this country. And we are working with the chief director, and then we will be contacting the chief director of the gender ministry and the social welfare, so that these children can be transferred into their care without their care being compromised. So that we can assure you.
We'll leave it here then. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. That's the COP Frank Edupoku, Executive Director of IOCO, and also Dr. Divine Banyubala. He's the acting registrar of the Medical and Dental Council.
Let's get a quick word from the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. The General Secretary, David Tinkrine, joins us on the telephone line. Right, Mr. Tinkrine, so some of the people arrested include midwives. What is your association prepared to do about this?
Good evening, Ivan, and good evening to your listeners. This has come as a shock. We know that this is a very distinguished profession. We believe that the conduct, if it is anything to do by, is totally frowned upon by our association. What we need to do as a professional organization is to move in, quickly identify the persons involved, and see the role they play in this whole thing. Now, the regulator, which is never the Newsnight Council, also has a role to play. And when we investigate and we come to the realization that they are culpable, then the right sanctions will be put in place. But I just want to assure the public that 99.9% of practitioners of nursing and therapy in this country have integrity. And of course, you are likely to find few people who got into the profession, not necessarily having the passion thereof, but were seeking for job opportunities. So for now, I might say this is quite a
Thank you, David. That's David Tinkrine. He's the General Secretary of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. I want to hear from you on this. If you have that experience, want to share with us, please feel free to do so. 05511111997. Still listening to Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, retired colonel with the Ghana Armed Forces, Festus Abaji, has described as embarrassing the involvement of military personnel providing security for a mining firm accused of operating illegally. Now, joint sources in the military high command say the chief of defense staff has ordered an investigation into the clash between the anti-Galamsey task force and soldiers providing protection for a mining firm operating in the middle of a forest in the Ashanti region. Now, inside the forest, large swathes of land had been cleared with deep trenches dug for the miners. The military is yet to formally respond to the role of its personnel in the illegal activity, but Colonel Festus Abaji believes this development is damaging when it comes to the reputation of the forces. He joins us on the telephone line right now. Thank you, Colonel, for your time here on Newsnight. So, walk me through the chain of command. When military men, as we've witnessed, are deployed to a location, in this case protecting a mining firm accused of operating illegally, how would that deployment would have done? How would that have happened? Would it require a clear order in a chain of command?
Sure, thanks for asking me. In all instances here, those individual officers men do not just get up and take operations. So at some level of the military hierarchy, a decision will be made by the appropriate commander for certain activities to take place. At some level, another officer will issue specific instructions as to the unit or the group of officers and men who would have to take such operations or activities. But over the past couple of hours, I've come across two statements. One by the Director Public Relations, General Head, and the other one the General Officer Commanding. Now, the General Officer Commanding, Central Command, has acknowledged that the men who were reported in the documentary were on, what was the word that they were authorized to undertake certain operations to operate some criminals who were extorting money and so on and so forth. So let's take the GEO level. It means at that level, that General Officer Command, within the framework of Operation Calm Life, as he reported in his statement, had decided that some operations or activities will have to take place. But the GOC is not a commander of officers and men. So that order would have gone to a unit within that central command, let's say 4 battalions of infantry. Yeah. So the CEO of that unit again would, issue instructions to the units or sub-units under him or her. In this case, the company. So a force will be put together with a designated commander with specific instructions as to the place, the time, and the purpose or the objectives of that action. And of course, after that, you also expect that some periodic reports will be. There are two possibilities. The GOC has already said that the units or the people reported in the documentary were unauthorized operations. Mm-hmm. The alternative would be that they had not been authorized, in which case it would have been requisite for the GOC to use the authority vested in to investigate which officers and men or which men, under those operations.
So you expect an investigation. Let me ask for this clarity briefly, if you may. Is it allowed in in the Ghana Armed Forces for private firms to contract formally, if that is even possible, through formal channels, the services of protection of armed military men for a private firm, for example? Is that allowed in a service?
It's not allowed.
It's not allowed.
There's no reason why the Ghana Armed Forces, which is a statutory organization, should provide its services to a private organization. Unless there is a higher level of authorization, which will be political in nature. So a good example is this Operation Calm Life, which is a political construction to address the menace of crime. Otherwise, ordinarily, you wouldn't find soldiers being deployed to go and combat, Galamsey and so on and so forth. In our history, any time that has happened, at least from the time that I joined, which was during the later Champions time, when we said anti-cocoa smuggling, it was first and foremost a political decision that required the Ghana Armed Forces to use its organizational capabilities, the men and the equipment, to assist the government to deal with the smuggling of cocoa.
Yeah.
But otherwise, a unit cannot, for instance, get and render its services to a construction firm, let's say a road construction firm, to go and protect it, or protect its equipment, or guard its equipment. It's not allowed.
Okay. I'm
If
grateful.
it happens, yes.
There should be some consequences or investigations into it, I guess you're going to say. I'm grateful that you join us with your thoughts. That's kind of retired Festus Abuaja there. Meanwhile, mining firm Heritage Imperial Limited has obtained an interim injunction order restraining the multimedia group from broadcasting a Joy News story on the activities of the company inside the forest near the Ashanti region town of Tontokrom. The story by labor firm Erastus Osari Donko showed soldiers on site providing protection for the concession. Now, a raid by an anti-Galamsey task force was cut short when the soldiers allegedly stopped the arrest of 7 Chinese found on the concession. A large area in the middle of the forest had been cleared and large trenches dug. So live on Newsnight, a few of your messages.
Well, you've been sending them. We've been asking you about the baby syndicate, and if you have any experience of a sort, you can share them with us via WhatsApp is 05511119997. And we have one from Abusa Jackson Jilanyo in Cape Coast. It says, Ghana, everybody is looking for money. We one day leave the money and go. Now, some of our doctors selling our babies in the hospitals. So who can we trust now in this country? He says. A.U. Farouk in Tamale North says, in fact, this country is sinking. If doctors are now engaged in child trafficking, what do you expect the ordinary person to do? And Zet from Makwetiman says, listening to the news on the baby syndicate, I feel so sad because I'm a mother and I can't stay a day without my kids, let alone they being taken away for good. May God have mercy on their souls.
Adam in Tamale says he wants those found culpable to be jailed for life. This one from, has no name. He says it's disheartening how long these criminals have conducted their trade. The IOCO and Dental Medical Council must look into another booming industry, organ harvesting in our hospitals and morgues. Also, this one from Arnold in Akachi says, Ghanaians are so disappointed seeing the military who are to protect this country rather engaging in such criminal activities. This is Fred Tabiri in Tuchiman says, it's a shame Trump did not turn up for today's memorable inauguration of the 46th President Joe Biden. We'll bring you the details of that story shortly here on Newsnight. We can do business now, and George Yaffe is joining me with details of business. Hello, George.
Hi, Clemens, and talking about the inauguration was such a splendid event as well. Interesting, and you have Mr. President and you have Madam Vice President.
Yeah, I mean, it's been one of those days for Donald Trump, right? Who's been, chilling? He did his own ceremony, farewell, but didn't attend the inauguration. Well, let's say, do Fiasem. What do you have in the headlines that concerns us here?
Coming up in business, more Oil marketing companies hike fuel prices at the pumps in line with current development on the international market. We'll tell you what this will mean to you as a consumer. And British Airways assures of considering all options before switching from Heathrow to Gatwick Airport for its Accra-London flights. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials, and Allianz Insurance.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, don't worry, Grandpa. There are still 5 ripe and 15 unripe mangoes on the tree.
That's my boy.
Grandpa, it's still 1.2 kilograms of rice in the container.
My boy. And how much credit did I spend last week?
Well, you spent 5 CDs on calls, 2 megabytes on data, and you sent 5 SMSs.
We are the first network that tells you exactly what you have spent and when you spent it. Dial *156# to access your statement on MTN. We are good together. We day for you everywhere you go.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
Hope you have heard rent to own now in Ghana. The Flan City Extension Project Rent to Own Land and House Ownership Scheme by the Ningo Prampram District Assembly and its partners, supported by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and the UN Habitat, are right here in Ghana. So be smart because where you trade and live really matters. Apply now and own a home or a fully serviced land. Wait a minute Don't forget to join our affiliate housing cooperatives also. Special offers last until 31st March 2021. Call us on 055 55 3300 or 0577 911101 and 055 7054 635. Website newaccra.city. Plant City Extension Project, shaping Ghana's urban future.
Our 130-year journey at Allianz has seen our operations growing to cover over 92 million Allianz customers in over 70 countries worldwide. Allianz Life Insurance Ghana, a subsidiary of Allianz Group, has put together a wide range of insurance packages to suit the pockets of every Ghanaian individual, family, group, corporate body, as well as their employees. Kindly call us on 030-2267-892 or 059-144-9686 or visit our website www.allianz-gh.com for more enquiries. Allianz Life, we secure your future.
Joy 99.7 FM.
And welcome back to Business on Newsnight. And more oil marketing companies have started reviewing their prices upwards in line with the expected adjustment. Now, this is coming after Total Oil took the lead by increasing prices of its various petroleum products sold at the service station. Kojumeno has been going through a report where we understand that Shell has also followed by doing a similar adjustment. And Kojo, what is Shell also announced? Are they doing the similar 5 Ghana cedis, 10 pesos as well?
So, George, checks on the market show that Shell has also increased its prices at the pumps, with a litre of diesel and petrol now being sold at 5 cedis, 10 pesos. And this is coming after Total Oil led the pack by adjusting their prices by a similar margin earlier this week. Now, following Shell's review, that could push a lot more oil marketing firms in the country into also reviewing their prices at the pumps. This could result in some other reviews in the coming days. Now, this because some of the oil firms, they have told Joy Business that they are waiting for market leaders to review their prices before they adjust their values. There are currently more than 100 oil marketing companies in the country, and the development may mean that a lot of customers, manufacturing firms, may be hit by these adjustments. And this because it's believed that Total, Shell and Gol may be commanding more than half of the market in the country. Now, the move may also increase the cost of production for businesses and also increase fuel budgets of a lot of consumers and make a strong case for possible review of transport fares as well in the country. George, it is also projected that these developments will lead to an increase in the cost of living as well for many in the coming days. But for those who are thinking this might be the last for the year in terms of increases, well, you may have to brace yourself for more. This because all the numbers and extra, the extrapolations being done point to the fact that prices could be going up further in the coming months as well.
Thank you, Kojo. And Emefa, it looks like you have to brace yourself for more adjustment in the coming weeks and months to intensify if you want to feel that wonderful car of yours out there, Emefa.
We'll see how that goes.
Well, to other business news, we are always considering all options available to us before we make a decision on switching airports. Now, that's the assurance coming from British Airways over concerns that it is planning to change the Accra London Airport from Heathrow to Gatwick. In a response to Joy Business, British Airways said that after inquiries on the issue, the airline has noted that they are taking all the responsible steps to minimize the shocks that will come with this move for customers. It added that these are some of the things that they are taking to actually make the operations flexible for its customers. Meanwhile, aviation expert Sean Mendes has noted that British Airways' move may be justified and it will rather go a long way to benefit passengers.
So they've struggled there, and they've had a market share that is about 10% lower than you'd expect it to be, since they're the only non-stop operator. As a result, if they are able to move the service to Gatwick, there are significantly lower passenger taxes at Gatwick relative to Heathrow, so that's straight up a savings directly into the passenger's pocket. There are lower operating costs at Gatwick, and as a result, that could result in lower fares. And again, with less connecting traffic, that means passengers traveling just between Accra and London will have access to more seats and more non-stop capacity. So this can actually be a positive for passengers in respect of services between Accra and London. To be honest, I don't think government should be in a position of dictating to private companies, and especially foreign private companies, how they should operate. I think that sets a very dangerous precedent. Gatwick is actually a very good airport. I think a lot of people in Ghana keep thinking of Gatwick from 15 to 20 years ago as a poor stepchild of Heathrow. But that has changed since Gatwick was divested by BA in 2009. The new ownership invested significantly into Gatwick, and it's now a major airport in its own right. It moves 46 million passengers a year.
That's aviation expert Sean Mendes. Now, price of the retail max, that is nose max sold in Kumasi, has actually seen an increase. Now, this follows the presidential directive that everyone should actually put on the max as part of efforts to actually check the spread of the pandemic. Anita Sewa Goza has actually been interacting with some max retailers in Kumasi and has more.
It's true, the wholesale price of nose mask has increased.
We used to buy it at a price of 25 cedis, but it's now sold at 30 cedis. This has affected our profits. For now, we can't increase the price.
Ghana cedi, but it's here 30.
He said, we don't know why the prices have increased.
Some traders in Kumasi complaining about the increase in price of face masks as a result of the presidential directive that everyone should put on the mask in efforts to check the spread of the coronavirus. And that's all for business on Newsnight. Back to you, Emefa.
Thank you very much, George. We are more of you. You're still sending more of your messages. We'll go for sports shortly with Hans Mensah. But this one from Kofi Mensah in Teshinungwa says it's extremely shocking to note that these rumors of baby thieves in our hospitals is actually factual by this latest arrest. I can't believe this is happening in Ghana. On a lighter note, can men also be midwives? He's asking. And we have men who are midwives, yeah. But if you're interested, I'm sure you have to go through the proper training for that to happen. And this one is from, it doesn't have a name. It says it's shameful, but this goes on all the time. There are times where soldiers from Doyomo camp are brought to beat workers in a construction site because of missing items. Some of your messages. Someone asking whether men can be midwives. Have you considered? Do you ever want to? Do you ever want to go in there?
Oh no, I mean I think
You've seen enough.
Yes.
Journalism. Well, let's do sports now. Hans Mensah has a very.
And he has
I'm sure he's itching to comment on this.
Yeah, he has this very mischievous smile on his face.
I'm just thinking about Hans Mensah's Manchester United and
you
know how things are going for their noisy neighbours. They are locked at goalless against Aston Villa. So I guess it's good news for Evans.
No comment.
Right, let's get into the sports for tonight. And Ghana's Right to Dream Academy, they've partnered Egyptian billionaire Mohamed Mansour as a target expansion to include a women's professional club and recruit more young players to hone their talent. Chief Executive Officer of the Academy, Tom Vernon, has been speaking to Joy Sports on the motivation behind the partnership.
There's many motivations for us going into the partnership. One is to increase the investment and the quality of work that we do in Ghana so that we can increase those opportunities for our students, but also for staff. And I think, Right to Dream has now started to build a strong reputation for investing heavily into Ghanaian coaching staff as well. And we see CK Apono as the Black Stars coach. Otto Addo, who was with us, is now the assistant coach of Dortmund. And then we're very proud to have Dramani, like Kingston, Michael Essien, all working within our organisation. So it's not only the dreams of our students, but also the dreams of our staff. So we'll continue to expand and strengthen in Ghana with our home and our heartbeat. And then we're very, very excited to be building a Right to Dream in Egypt, which is a massive investment from the Mansours. And the model of the academy in Egypt will follow the model that everybody's used to in Ghana for Right to Dream in Ghana.
Tom Vernon is the Chief Executive Officer for the Right to Dream Soccer Academy. And like I mentioned, Manchester City locked at goalless against Aston Villa. Later, Manchester United will be seeking to gain back their position at the top of the table as they face Fulham at Craven Cottage. That's your sport.
Thank you, Hans. Let's take you to Parliament now.
Yeah, a lot happening there. MPP caucus in the House. They're tonight opposing a motion by Boko Central MP Mahama Yariga seeking that the House causes the President to suspend payment of admission fees by tertiary students.
So the NPP says the motion is incompetent and flawed. Mensah Yariga wants Parliament to consider the suffering of Ghanaians as a result of COVID-19 and take up the fees.
With the border closure, the economies of constituencies such as mine, Boku Central, has been so hard hit by the COVID economy that we are having situations where many constituents cannot just afford to pay fees. Mr. Speaker, government, no doubt, has taken measures to address some of the economic fallout resulting from the COVID infections.
But MPP Chief Whip Muta Frank Anodompre says the motion is incompetent.
Speaker, I've done some good checks at the various tertiary institutions, and particularly the universities. And it came out that we don't have anything as captured by your motion as admission fees. We don't have anything like that. We have academic user fee. So probably, the honourable member, in seeking to amend his motion, should have accordingly amended that portion, but granted, be that as may. So, Speaker, I seek your relief that this motion is flawed, is incompetent, and the honourable member should do the needful. And I implore you to dismiss it aside.
Well, also on the floor today was the former Education Minister, Macho Poku-Prempeh, who says the motion should not be entertained.
Mr. Speaker, it is this House. If you think this House has approved something that was wrongly done, you come up with a motion of precision. You come with a motion of precision that since the House approved the subsidiary legislation, we can change it by voting with 2/3 members of Parliament to withdraw that approval. It is not a precedent. It is not a precedent. This motion, Mr. Speaker, is incompetent.
Well, this is Chime Sabungsu, who leads the MPP side in the House. This is his reaction to all this.
Full order of fees. Mr. Speaker, my colleague is drawing attention that the motion as it stands in the name of the Honorable Mahama Ayariga is flawed. Listening to the plethora of fees that he himself referred to, it cannot be admission fees. So, Mr. Speaker, and he has amended. Honorable Majority Leader, I thought that you have to wait when it's your turn. You are not raising a preliminary objection. No, he opposed the motion and said it should be dismissed. He opposed the motion.
And that's what transpired on the floor of Parliament. Let's go to Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, our parliamentary correspondent. And Joseph, after that long debate, what was the Speaker's decision on this particular issue?
Funny enough, all that debate was on the initial objection that had been raised by the NPP side. And so the House never got the opportunity to debate and approve or reject the substance of the motion itself. It dragged for more than an hour. And then eventually, Mr. Ayariga was given the opportunity to go ahead and amend the motion so that then it reflects the specifics in terms of the admission fee that he wants government to take up. And eventually, the Speaker postponed the debate to tomorrow. That's when they would go ahead and debate the full motion itself.
Okay, so earlier there was a press conference by the NPP side raising concerns about the U-turn of the Speaker regarding the composition of the Appointments Committee. What exactly were the issues?
According to Osei Mensah, who leads the NPP side, they have repeatedly insisted that on the Appointments Committee, the Speaker shouldn't be counted as one of the 26 members. And they then go on to say that then if you are splitting the rest of the 25 in terms of NPP and NDC, then the figure shouldn't reflect a situation where overall there are 13 NPP and 13 NDC MPs. He claims that when they held a meeting with the Speaker had agreed with them that the Speaker, that Deputy Speaker shouldn't be counted as one of the members. So he saw it as a U-turn, but yesterday he ruled otherwise and allowed for approval of the committee, counting Jose, who was one of the NPP members on the committee.
That's Joseph Opoku-Gakpo, parliamentary correspondent there.
Well, still to come here on Newsnight, we take you to the U.S., where Joe Biden is calling for boldness to deal with multiple challenges facing that country, from governance to public health.
Will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Our Our 130-year journey at Allianz has seen our operations growing to cover over 92 million Allianz customers in over 70 countries worldwide. Allianz Life Insurance Ghana, a subsidiary of Allianz Group, has put together a wide range of insurance packages to suit the pockets of every Ghanaian individual, family, group, corporate body, as well as their employees. Kindly call us on 030-2267-892 or 059-144-9686 or visit our website www.allianz-gh.com for more enquiries. Allianz Life, we secure your future.
And you are still live here on Newsnight. I want to take you to Emefa's favorite country, of course, apart from Ghana, the United States of America. Of course, she aspires to be a citizen, don't know?
No.
Okay.
I'm a
Even on that Biden?
Proud Ghanaian.
Okay. Well, my bad. Well, Joe Biden is the 46th president of the United States of America, and he was sworn in today at a ceremony guarded by, guess what? 25,000 troops. Now, Mr. Biden, in his inaugural speech, called for boldness to face the multiple challenges facing the U.S., including what he describes as an attack on the democracy and the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. He starts by asking for prayers for the thousands who have died in the pandemic.
Look, you all know we've been through so much in this nation. And in my first act as president, I'd like to ask you to join me in a moment of silent prayer. Remember all of those who we lost in this past year to the pandemic. Those 400,000 fellow Americans, moms, dads, husbands, wives, sons, daughters, friends, neighbors, and co-workers. We'll honor them by becoming the people and the nation we know we can and should be. So I ask you, let's say a silent prayer for those who've lost their lives and those left behind, and for our country. Amen. Folks, this is a time of testing. We face an attack on our democracy and on truth, a raging virus, growing inequity, the sting of systemic racism, a climate in crisis, America's role in the world. Any one of these would be enough to challenge us in profound ways. But the fact is, we face them all at once, presenting this nation with one of the gravest responsibilities we've had. Now we're going to be tested. Are we going to step up, all of us? It's time for boldness, for there's so much to do. And this is certain. I promise you, we will be judged, you and I, by how we resolve these cascading crises of our era.
So finally, the Trump era, and those who are playing on that pan to say error, has ended, and he's made his way out of the White House. Have you been to the White House?
No, please.
I'll take you there one of these days.
There,
We should, now that Biden is in, you'll be welcoming.
Yeah, now we can go. And that's it for Newsnight. And make sure that you brush your teeth with Pepsodent, none other, because Pepsodent, every smile matters. And we are living the plus size life this evening on Strong and Sassy.
Oh, yeah.
Plus size and proud.
I should be part of this conversation because plus size is my
How do you like them?
Oh,
plus size. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Okay. Enimado is up next for the team. You want to stay for Strong and Sassy.
Join me as we listen together.
I am Emefa.
My name is Mensah.